So what I'm doing here on the box is I've got the steering box off. Finally got it off. I'm putting my rubber gloves on because this degreaser just takes the grease right out of your skin. So I've got the steering box off. I've left the support bracket on, that's there, and I've left this on here, which is the steering arm drop link. Right, I'll turn it around so you can see it. It failed MOT on this boot here. So this boot's split, and it has split all the way around, so that's a fair enough MOT failure. So you can change, I think, if there's a split pin in there. Let's have a look, see if there's a split pin in there. There might be, there might not. I think there is. I think you can change that ball joint. Yeah, there is. There's a split pin in there. Oh, sorry, split ring. A circlip in there, so you can actually change that ball joint. So I could have changed that. However, this seal, when I was underneath it, this seal here, which is the high pressure seal, that seal's completely gone. It's out of its housing entirely. I think it's just blown. So I've got to put the, if you put right, I'll take this washer off, or flatten this washer, sorry, this is a lock washer. Take that off, and then get a 10-ton press in there. I can then get this arm off, and then what I can do is get to that seal. I don't want to rebuild the steering unit. I'm going to check the date with Adwest. So that Adwest says that this is date code 5D 2995. I'm not sure what that means. I'll phone Adwest or Miguel Engineering, whoever owns Adwest now. Phone them up, see what the date code is, see how old this steering box actually is, and I don't want to really rebuild it, because rebuilding it's quite a complicated old problem, because you've got shafts there, turning gear there, oh my god, and then adjustments there, and where else? There and there. And you've got to pull the tension on all the bearings and worms and all sorts of stuff. So these are quite complicated. They're about £1,000 new, and right, people do refurb them, and they refurb them, but the main thing is I'll probably get this wrong here, but it's that shaft. That's the worm shaft, because the worm's up there, and then the shaft comes down here. If that shaft's worn, then these shafts inside here are more expensive than the whole blooming unit. So it's about £1,000 new. Don't want to rebuild it if I can help it. So what I'm going to do is change that ball joint. Well, I'm going to change this arm, therefore changing the ball joint, because the new arm comes with a ball joint, and then change that high pressure seal just in there. Now there's another seal on the low pressure side, which is that one. I'm going to change that one as well, just because I don't know if it's leaking or not. It looks fairly good, but if I've got it out off the vehicle, I might as well change it. So I'm going to change two seals, which is what the cheapy refurbers do, you know, for 150 quid, is they just change those seals and then paint it and then say it's a refurb box. Well, it's not a refurb box, because that surface there, just into about here, that seal, well, actually a little bit further, in fact there, it's actually about there. That seal sits on the land there, so you've got to make sure this isn't pitted. So what I'm going to do, just for ease of getting it back on, is change the seal, see if I can see the land that it sits on, the metal it sits on. If it's pitted, I'll have to strip down the box and then rebuild it, or get a rebuilt box, or I can emery cloth it so the seal fits on. Okay, now that might be a dust shield. That I don't think they have dust shields on. I think they're an actual seal. They're just a seal, and they're supposed to sit inside flat against there. So this notch here, I'll show you, this notch here, when it's level with there, that's the centre steering in its centre. So it's not in its centre at the moment, because I took it off, I had to wiggle it to get it off. So I need a 10-ton puller to get on there. I split that ball joint with the normal ball joint, so it's a 10-ton puller to get this on. This is we call it the bugger joint. It's it's a bit of a bugger to do on the car, but it's less so on the bench. So I'm going to do it on the bench, and then change the two seals. Make sure the pull's right on both the shafts, by the pull on that shaft, and is it called end float? I can't remember what it's called now. And on that shaft, so I can adjust it to make sure it's working properly using a fisherman's scale puller. Get the end float right. And is it called end float or backlash? I can't remember now. I'll look in the manual to do it anyway, and set it up. So that's the steering box off. We're just cleaning up now. This is my blooming tray. I don't know if you can see that, with my tray of degreasing material, which is absolutely manky, because it sits in mud for most of its life, this steering box. Cracking units, I mean, excellent units, but it's 30 odd years old. time for a change and time for a bit of work and love and care and attention. So that's what we're doing now. So I hope that's all right. Hope you got all that and you can see what I've done. And if you've got any questions, by all means, put them in the chat box or in the comments below.